My name is Chetan Subramanian and I am a faculty member in the Economic and Social Sciences area at IIMB Bangalore. I completed my PhD from the University of Southern California. After completing my PhD, I moved to the State University of New York at Buffalo, which is one of the largest public universities in the United States. I was a faculty member there in the economics department and was there for about 10 years. And in 2010, I decided to move back to India and I joined IIM Bangalore. My areas of interest lie broadly in the field of macroeconomics and monetary economics. My present research can broadly be classified under three categories. Firstly, I'm interested in monetary and exchange rate policies, particularly with regard to emerging markets. In this context, I'm interested in the impact of capital flows on the overall financial stability of an economy. Emerging markets are characterized by a unique feature in the sense that they are not able to borrow in their own currency but borrow in foreign currency. Now, what this does is, during periods of exchange rate volatility, it can potentially adversely impact the firm's balance sheets in these economies as well as the balance sheets of banks. Now, this in turn can affect the real economy in a very negative way. So essentially what we do in this line of research is that we examine the impact of exchange rate volatility on the overall financial stability of an economy. My second line of research focuses on inflationary expectations. Now, inflationary expectations have turned out to be the cornerstone of monetary policy. If an economy is if an economy is aiming to have price stability, then one of the things that has to be done is that inflationary expectations have to be anchored. Now, why are inflationary expectations important from a layman's point of view? They're important because, one, labor as well as management would want to have fairly accurate estimates of what inflationary expectations are in order to set contracts. Then people would be interested in generally knowing about what the real interest rates in the economy are, and the real interest rates in turn depend upon inflationary expectations. Why are real interest rates important? They're important because people take that into consideration while making investment decisions. They're important for cross-border capital flows and a variety of other reasons. Now, this research that I'm working on is I'm collaborating with two of my colleagues, Professor Kanchan Mukherjee and Professor Charan Singh, and essentially we try to marry two different strands of literature. One which looks at the impact of inflationary expectations on the overall inflation processes as well as its impact on the macroeconomy. Second, we try and understand how exactly people form inflationary expectations. In this regard, we borrow heavily from the literature in behavioral economics as well as psychology. The third area of interest that I have is in the areas of growth and development. So here, for example, I am studying how international trade affects product and process innovations when it comes to firms in emerging markets. I'm also interested in the impact of health and education on growth. In the case of education, I'm interested in understanding the social returns on education. In the case of health, what we are looking at is how the composition of private and public expenditure on health affects the overall income distribution in an economy as well as how it affects growth in the economy.